Hello and welcome to Norwood Digest, NCM TV's news magazine show. We've got a great show. We got a late start because of yours truly, but we'll see if we can get right into it. We're going to start with the Norwood Extended Day Director, Chris Capezio. So tell us a little bit about the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So our program serves the Willett and all of our elementary schools. We have over 300 students enrolled. We operate Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 on early release days, today included. We offer vacation care in February and in April, and then we also offer summer camp for 8 weeks. So it's almost a full 12-month program.
And what building is it located in?
We're in the Savage Center.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So if I'm at one of the elementary schools, I get on a bus at the end of the day and it takes me there.
That's right. Yep. All the elementary schools. Yep.
So you have some exciting new programming that
we do,
so
yeah.
Tell us about that.
Exciting, a lot of exciting new everything. So, I mean, some of the big things that we're looking at introducing this year for kindergarten and first grade, we're implementing a yoga program. So the kids are going to have some relaxation and storytelling through yoga. We have this wonderful youth yoga expert who's going to come in and provide that for our kids, and that's at no cost to the parents. It's wonderful, just internally provided programming. We're also looking at bringing in some Lego robotics. So I'm working with an outside agency to kind of develop a plan for us to bring Lego robotics to the kids because it's so fun and the kids really enjoy it. And it's also about, trying to provide some 21st century engagement and enrichment opportunities to the kids.
Well, that sounds exciting. Now you have some trainings. Is the trainings for the kids or for adults?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a really good question. So our trainings right now are for the adults, and some of the things that we've introduced are, a food allergies training and inclusivity training so that all of our teachers are aware of what are the expectations for students who have allergies and how to ensure that they're included in the classroom. The expectations and the laws, they continue to evolve, and so we all need to be prepared as we respond to our students' needs. And then I think in addition, we're providing this Saturday on the 19th at the Savage Center from 9 to 12. We're working with Charlie Applestein. He's nationally reputable, and he provides a training on no such thing as a bad kid. And the title in and of itself is an indication of what the training is about.
Sure.
It's really about developing the language and developing a strength-based approach for managing students who have significant challenges.
And who's invited to that?
All of our teachers are invited, and teachers within the district too. And I'm working with Assistant Superintendent Dr. Wyeth. He's provided PDPs, which are essentially professional units or credits for Norwood public school teachers, particularly those who are going for relicensure. They can use this under the social and emotional category. So wonderful collaboration there.
Speaking of collaborations, don't you have a new partnership with, is it the Norwood High School Healthcare? I'm going to get it wrong.
Yeah, no, and me too, so don't ask me. So I've been working with Miss Jean Noel, and she oversees, I think it's a healthcare pathways program. And what it does is it provides students opportunities to have an internship where they're learning professional skills and also earn a little bit of money. So our high school kids need money too. They need to pay for things. They need to survive. And so this collaboration is really the promise of the students getting academic credit for their contributions to our program and us providing them with the learning experience, particularly for students who want to go into childcare, who are interested in a teaching profession, or who want to get into nonprofit management. This is a great get your feet wet kind of experience for a high schooler who has never had a job before.
Right. So how are you set up? Is it everybody comes in one room, or do you not segregate? Do you? Now I got segregated
Speaking
in
of
my
antiquated
mind.
language.
No kidding. I'm old.
Yeah, no,
Or
you're
do you,
good.
divide them by grade or whatever.
Sequester, quarantine. So we have 9 classrooms at the Savage Center. We have 2 kindergarten rooms. Yeah, we have 50 kindergartners, 2 kindergarten rooms, 2 first grades, 1 second, 2 thirds now. We just opened a 2nd, 3rd grade this year, a 4th grade and a 5th grade. And, the classroom sizes can vary anywhere from 18, 19, that's our upper grades, that's, 5th grade where we start to see a little bit of atrophy. And then some of our classrooms are as large as 40 plus students. So really significant population there within each of our grades.
And do you have different monthly activities depending on the grade? Is that how it works?
Yeah, oh, I'm really glad you asked. So something new that we've implemented this year is our teachers are providing information to our parents about what the students are doing from month to month in the classroom. So every grade has a team of teachers, and every team of teachers works on the development of a calendar of activities and programming that really suggests to parents the range of opportunities that Extended Day is offering. And it also, from my perspective, provides talking points to the kids. I mean, how many parents know when they walk home, they ask, how was your day? Good. Okay, well, how was X, or how was Y, or how was this thing that you did, or how was that programming? You know, it starts to bridge that gap a little bit so that you can ask more pointed questions about how a child's day was.
And so, like you said, you're at the Savage Center. So the Senior Center is also up there. Do you take advantage of that?
Well, we hope to. So one of my aspirations in the coming months is to meet with the Senior Center Director. I believe her name is Katie.
McCarthy, I believe, no?
You know better than I do. And I need to, I need to follow up with her. I think she was at a training over the last week or so, so she was out of town. So we've played a little bit of phone tag, but my ambition is to offer intergenerational programming, and it's what a wonderful opportunity. I mean, the Senior Center is what, 300, 400 feet from our, our office. There is no reason why it shouldn't happen, and so I'm hopeful for maybe late November, mid-December for that.
Okay. So are you just open during school time or vacation weeks, summer? What happens there?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So vacation weeks, definitely. February and April vacation, I think it's the third week of both of those months. And so we're open for 4 days. The first day, Monday, is typically a holiday. And so any families who are not going on vacation or who don't have alternative plans, we're open for 10 hours a day on those days. So, I mean, it's 40 hours that the students are in our care if you're enrolling your student full time. And we offer field trips, and a lot of times those weeks are thematic as well. So we could do I'm taking this from something that one of my teachers did this month, but we could have a Vikings themed month or a Vikings themed vacation care. Or we could do crystal castles, and it could be about, exploring all of the different types of crystal constellations that are a part of the winter season. So every day or every couple of days can have its own theme, which will draw different interest from different kids.
And the field trips are only on, did you say the summer, what we do in the summer?
I didn't say what we do in the summer. So we do have an 8-week program in the summer, and again, 10-hour days as well. So really a significant chunk of time, and a critical and important time that's offered for parents so they know that their kids are being cared for. And one of the greatest things that we offer as well is that continuity between the Norwood Public School teachers and Extended Day teachers. Over 65% of our teachers are from Norwood Public Schools. So they see their teachers in the classroom. They're either aides or assistants, or they're the actual teachers, and then they come and they see them in Extended Day as well, and that happens during the summer also. So, and the summer as well as our vacation cares, field trips. We try to offer kids opportunities for off-site learning, also just off-site fun. Not everything has to be so drenched in academics. So, we're really an enrichment-based program. So the kids, we might go to launch, or we might go to the trampoline park, or we might go to the batting cages, something that's kind of fun. And for a lot of our students, might be the first time they've ever done that.
Yeah, would be the first time for me. But there's a lot happening down there.
There's a lot happening.
I had no idea.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. And the reality is that, it's exciting for our teachers as well. I see it's always difficult, and it's always a challenge to embrace change. And I think our teachers have done so with grace, and they've also shown me their capacities in so many ways. And I can only look forward to what the rest of the year is going to bring.
So if I'm at home watching this and I want more information, what do I do?
Yeah. Should I do one of these?
Sure.
If you wanna.
Yeah.
I think one of the things to look into with Extended Day is to embrace the opportunities that are being offered, to try to encourage and coach your children to participate in whatever programming is being developed, to take the initiative to develop relationships with our teachers. It can be very difficult because you're in a rush, you're coming to pick up, you got to go, blah, blah, blah. But there's always time to sort of check in. Hey, how's Johnny doing today? Or, he was kind of sad last night. I just want to know how things are going. And I think the more, the more people kind of integrate themselves in the program, the more they will realize how important and how critical Norwood Extended Day is to the community. So that's what I'm looking for.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
I've learned
thank
so
you.
much today.
Okay, yes.
And that's
Success.
great. And so we're with the director of Norwood Extended Day, Chris Capezio.
Capezio.
See, I can't do it well. It's that Irish in me. But again, thanks for
Yeah,
being with us.
thank you.
And right now we're going to have another one of our Living Local segments. We're going to check out Keegan's Jewelers, which apparently is now Norwood's oldest jewelry shop. So take it away.
I'm Sean Keegan. This is Keegan's Jewelers. We're located in South Norwood. We've been here since 1951, me personally since the 80s.
Located on Washington Street, Keegan's Jewelers is Norwood's oldest jewelry store. They offer a wide range of custom-designed jewelry along with a staff of 3 expert jewelers, an appraiser, and a custom-design specialist to assist with all of your fine jewelry needs.
We're a full-line jewelry store. We specialize in custom-made pieces, hard-to-find pieces. If you're looking for something that it's very difficult to match, we basically specialize in that. As far as full-line jewelry store, though, we have everything is diamonds, earrings, bracelets, necklaces, pretty much anything you want in a jewelry store.
Keegan's Jewelers has been providing high-quality jewelry to its customers for over 60 years. Members of the Keegan family have been working there since the beginning.
It started by a gentleman named Peter Gagel. He started it back in 1951. He worked at Polaroid. Actually, maybe it was Raytheon. It was one of the 2 big companies up on Moore Street. And in between doing work there, he would run the jewelry store. My father worked with him and took over the store, and my father, George, actually had the store. It had no sign on it back in the 60s and 70s, and they just all knew him as George the Jeweler. So that's pretty much where it started from. I took it over in the late 80s and kind of brought it to where we are today.
The store didn't always have the Keegan's name.
It was back in the 50s, and Peter never put a sign on the door. And when my dad took it over, he had all the stationery and the name as Norwood Jewelers, but it never had the name on the business. So everyone would say, "Hey, go down and see George the Jeweler." So when he finally put a name on the door, it was George the Jeweler. When I took it over, we have a store down the Cape, and it's called Keegan's Cape Jewelers, and it was just fitting to kind of link the 2 of them together. So we named it Keegan's Norwood Jewelers, and the Falmouth location is Keegan's Cape Jewelers.
The Keegan family has a long history of fishing, starting with Sean's father, George. So when it comes to charity, the family loves to support youth fishing events.
Fishing is in our blood, so any of the fishing the Westwood Fishing Derby for the kids, the Norwood, South Norwood Fishing Derby for the kids, the Norwood Sportsman Club Fishing Derby for kids, and we run one down in the Cape, which is actually next year is going to be 25 years, 25th anniversary of running a derby down there in memory of my father. He passed away 25 years ago this November coming. So that one's a real fun one because we get to bring kids out on a boat and we all, get to see them enjoy themselves, so it's really nice.
If you are interested in learning more about Keegan's Jewelers, stop by their store.
Technology is not me. I'm really not very smart with technology, but I'm sure you can go on the internet. We have a website, Keegan's Jewelers, www.com, Keegan's Jewelers, and you can look us up that way. We've got a lot of nice reviews. Customers seem to like to put nice reviews on there, which is great, and we do fairly well that way.
So if you are in the market for jewelry, you can head down to Keegan's Jewelers for all your needs.
Thank you very much. That was excellent. If you want to catch other Living Local segments, please tune into Norwood News and the full show of Living Local. And we're staying local, and with me now is Sigal Reese, the director of the Norwood Health Department. Welcome. It's good to see you again. It's been a while since we've been together.
Yeah, no, it's always great, and NCM is a great partner of ours, so I always appreciate being able to come on.
So it's timely. This is Wednesday, and we've got a big event coming up on Thursday, on Saturday. So please, Saturday, people, I'm struggling today. So please tell us about it.
Yeah, so we have our big public flu clinic on Saturday, 9 to 11 at the Senior Center. It is open to all residents 14 and older. Even though we have it at the Senior Center, it's a great location because of accessibility and parking, easy in and out. So we always like to host it there. And the senior center is obviously a great partner
Right.
in that effort.
And so what happens at the flu clinic?
People can get their flu shot. Insurance is not required, but we do ask if you have insurance to bring your insurance card because we do actually bill. We take the funds that we get for billing your insurance and actually purchase the vaccine for next year. So it's a little town spirit to get your flu shot from us.
Every year that's a new vaccine, right? So what are they targeting, if that's the right word? Have they come out with that yet? What it's all about this year?
Yes, very scientific. Well, we use the quadrivalent, so quad, it's 4 strains of flu. They do their best to match every year. They kind of see what's circulating over in Asia before it comes here.
Right.
That's just the way flu works every year. So actually there was a little delay this year. We did have a little delay in our shipping because they were trying to get that match as best as possible and wait as long as possible. So every year there's always something going on with the flu vaccine. They won't know how good the match is unfortunately, until flu gets here, but
Right.
they're hoping it was better than last year. Last year wasn't a great match, but we hope that this year will be a better match. And we always say, even if it isn't a great match as far as the actual virus that's circulating, it is still prevent you from getting sick. You might get, in other words, you might get more sick if you didn't get the vaccine.
Sure.
So we always still say the best way to not get the flu is to get the vaccine every year.
Okay. So tell me what the William James College Interface Mental Health Hotline is.
Yes,
That's a mouthful.
it is. It's a referral helpline. So if residents are looking to find mental health outpatient treatment, which can be very difficult, you have to get through who takes your insurance, who has availability, who has the specialty you're looking for. We have contracted with a grant for 2 years and take part in the Interface Referral Helpline. And it's a 800 number that people can call 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And within 2 weeks, they will be able to find you a couple practitioners that you can go and see if that it's a good match for you.
Is this the second year of this?
Yes, we're just entering the
'Cause
second
I
year.
do remember talking about this last year.
I think so. And we have a group, a community coalition called Minds Matter that works on mental health within the community, and great partners with the schools and police department and service providers in the community. And what we always talk about is that we need to put the phone number and the information out there all the time because people won't really
Sure.
see it or notice it until they need it.
So what is the phone number? Is it 888-244-6843?
Oh, yeah.
So put that up there. Will you people put it up there while I'm talking? I'll give it to you one more time. 888-244-6843. And, don't hesitate to call. Everybody needs help sometimes. So there's no stigma in asking for help.
Yeah, and that's a lot of what the coalition works on is also stigma, getting the word out there, talking about the prevalence of mental health, anxiety, depression. And what it does is actually ties really closely to our work on substance abuse. Because we know if you have a mental health disorder, you are more likely to use substances. And a lot of substance use can lead to mental health disorders. So the two topics are very intertwined. And it's a lot of the same partners at the table.
Okay. So this is probably going to hit home for you. The Governor Baker has this anti-vaping, and what's the effect? What's happening with that? Have you been getting a lot of calls on that, or a lot of?
Yeah, that was a surprise to a lot of the locals, local health departments. I always say we were on a we were on a conference call with the state when they were telling us that the governor was going to do this, and it was 15 minutes before the press conference that the governor had.
So we had plenty of time to prepare.
We didn't get much notice either. But I think it's a great thing. The governor declared a declaration of emergency, and then the Department of Public Health issued an order to local health departments to enforce a ban of all vaping products. And that's because the amount of lung disease that they're seeing and actually deaths across the country associated with using vaping products.
And we had at least one in Massachusetts, like last week, I think, right? A vaping death?
Yeah, we
Was
have.
it
And a lot of
was it a adolescent or?
the recent one was an adult.
Oh.
But they have seen both.
Yeah.
And, associated with both THC, which is a marijuana product, and regular vape products, black market, non-black market. So they really don't know the source of it yet. So that's why it became a state of emergency, and the governor just said we need to stop all sales until we figure this out.
That's incredible.
So what was fortunate is that locally we have our own regulation that regulates the sale of tobacco and nicotine products. And it had just become effective 10 days before the governor's ban. So we had been working with our retailers. And what's nice is they had a sort of lead time. We voted on it in June. It became effective in September. They had a lead time to get rid of the product. And I think a lot of people were upset at Baker's action because it was immediate.
Yeah.
Understandably, because it was a state of emergency. I mean, people were in the ICU and people are dying. It's
So
serious.
Tell me a little bit about our regulations.
Sure. So the Board of Health, which is what I report to, a 3-member elected board, they have regulations that regulate the sale of tobacco and nicotine products. And it's something we look we look at it maybe every 2 years to see what are the latest trends. And one of the things we had done was to ban the sale of mint and menthol products, which are very attractive to youth. And we had already banned other flavored products in an earlier iteration. And then we had also restricted all smoke accessories and vape products to adult-only facilities. So a 21 and older retail tobacco store. Think about like a cigar store where you
Sure.
have to be 21 to enter.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so I mean, it was very progressive of the board, and
Yeah.
I was really proud when they did that. And they really took the feedback from the public hearing we had. The boards of health have a lot of authority to issue regulations in the name of health, and you can understand why, because it's a serious issue. So what we do is we like to go above and beyond what are actually the requirements and get the information out to the public. We send letters to the retailers, we talk to our community partners, we hold public hearings, and what it was a perfect example of democracy. We took the information from the public hearing, and where we heard from the retailers that said this is really going to affect our business, if you're going to do the mint and menthol ban, do it everywhere. So we took that information and we kind of went above what a lot of communities around us had done, and we banned it completely, where some communities have exempted the adult-only facilities.
Oh, okay, sure, that makes sense. So what else is new? That is?
No, we've been working hard. Triple E's been very active.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been in the news a lot. Hopefully that's quieting down with the cooler weather. We are waiting for that deep frost when we know we'll be in the clear. But we don't expect it to get worse at this point, but we want to make sure that deep frost comes by.
So I remember when you started, but how long have you been here now?
Oh, 13 years.
Is it really?
I have a few more gray hair now. But,
Wow, that,
yeah, it's
that
been-
doesn't seem possible.
I know. I mean, it's flown by. It's definitely a great experience. I love my job. I get to do a lot of different things, like the things we talk about. I know we do isolation and quarantine. We do use those antiquated terms that you brought up earlier.
Yeah, thank you.
But that's only to prevent disease,
Sure.
disease prevention. But yeah, I mean, the department has grown. We've been able to obtain a lot of grants. We have the Drug-Free Communities Grant, which funds Impact Norwood. So
Right.
we have 2 staff members with that. And then we have incorporated animal control under the health department.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which has been really great because a lot of the work that they do on rabies prevention and health and safety really incorporates with what we do, whether they're responding to a dog bite or a rabid animal, and the protocols you take with that. So yeah, we're growing, and my job is changed a lot from when I started in a good way. I like it, and I always get to do different things every day.
Good. So let's give the hours again. It's at the senior center, the flu clinic.
Yes, flu clinic, 9 to 11, senior center, 14 years and older, bring your insurance
And
card.
it's Saturday, October 19th, is it? Let me see. Today's the 16th, 17th, 18th. 19th, yeah.
Saturday the
So if you're
19th.
watching this after October 19th, go to CVS.
No, contact us. We'll probably still have vaccine. and
Oh,
we'll-
see, I'm glad I said
yes,
that.
yes. We will give out vaccine until we run out, which is
Okay.
usually around late November, early December.
Okay, so that's good. So if you miss Saturday, there's still an opportunity.
Yeah, check the website, reach out to the health department, give us a call at Town Hall. We'll probably still have vaccine.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Great.
It's great to see you again. And what are we doing now? We have a segment from, my favorite thing, the Norwood High School TV students. Brendan Batuka, Jake McCarthy, no relation, and Nick Spadarica, that highlights things to do outside of Norwood. Wait a minute. This show's all about Norwood. Anyway, let's take a look, see where they send us on our first trip on a segment called What's Good Outside of the Wood.
What's up, Mustangs? Welcome to the first episode of What's Good Outside the Wood, a segment where you can learn all the fun places you and your friends can go outside of Norwood. For our first episode, Jake, Nick, and I ventured to Purgatory Chasms in Sutton, Massachusetts.
So we're here.
So without further ado, sit back, buckle up, and enjoy learning what's good outside the wood. The chasms are a unique landmark that offer enjoyable adventure and outstanding views for all who attend. If you're feeling adventurous, be sure to explore the depths of the caves and squeeze through all the tight spaces that come your way. While the chasms are an enjoyable place to go, the hike itself could be challenging. Not to mention, if you plan on scaling the rocks, make sure you are not too scared of heights.
I recommend this place to anyone that likes to be outdoors. You can make it quick, you can make it long hikes. There's a lot to see out here. There's caves, there's climbing if you get special permits. So there's a lot of stuff to do out here.
Okay, it's now one of my favorite things to do is to Skype, and we usually Skype with young adults that used to work here. And so now we have Anthony Zona, who I know is going to school down in Florida, but right now I think he's interning a little further north than Florida in D.C.
Yep.
And are you right in the capital right now?
I sure am, Jack. I am right in the Capitol here. If you look behind me, you'll see the doors of the Senate back there. So those are the doors to the Senate. And then if I were to walk a little further into here, you'll actually see the Capitol dome.
Very cool. Oh yeah. Very nice. So
Yeah.
So tell us, you're interning for a congressman of some sort?
That's right. So I'm actually interning for Congressman Greg Gianforte. He is the sole representative for Montana. He's actually running for governor, so he'll be leaving the House of Representatives. But that's who I'm working for this semester.
So what kind of things are you doing?
Yeah, so on a daily basis, it's a lot of answering phones. It's doing anything that staffers need me to do, whether it's writing memos or different reports or researching legislation, co-sponsor sheets, stuff like that. So that's a lot of what I do. I also give tours around the Capitol and just, have a lot of fun on Capitol Hill.
So have you been to the old House of Representatives where there's a place that you can stand and you can hear people talking over the other end? You know what I'm talking about?
I sure do, Jack.
So
That is that's called Statuary Hall. So Statuary Hall used to be the House of Representatives. It's actually right here.
Did we lose
So it's
you?
down that way. So I'm right here.
Okay. Yeah,
So this is Statuary Hall here.
the last time I was in DC, we took a tour and somebody told us about that. And I want to say, was it John Adams or John Quincy Adams who they tell the story about?
So it's John Quincy Adams.
Okay.
He actually came and served in the House of Representatives, I believe, after he was president.
Correct.
He's been ranked among the top members of the House of Representatives of all time. Of course, he was the son of John Adams. And so, yeah, so that room's pretty famous for John Quincy Adams.
Yeah. So, so can you elaborate on that phenomenon that I was talking about? That where you can hear the other
I think
people?
I lost you.
So it was John Quincy Adams who I guess found out that little thing so he could listen to the opposition's strategy. Can you elaborate on that?
Oop. Do I have you back?
I think I can see you and I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I have you back.
Okay.
Now I can.
All right. All right. So we'll forget that. So
Okay.
you haven't you didn't graduate yet from college, right? You have another year?
That's right. So I'm actually graduating in spring, May 2020. I'll be graduating from UF. I decided to stay up in DC this summer to do another experience on Capitol Hill. I was here during the summer, actually, interning for a House committee. And so I decided to stay and intern again for another member.
Cool. So obviously you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's a great experience. You get to meet and see a lot of exciting things. Obviously, we've had a lot going on Capitol Hill pertaining to impeachment, particularly. And so that's been really exciting to be able to watch unfold. And just, the everyday process of government and Congress has been really interesting.
What was the biggest surprise that you encountered down there?
I think probably the biggest surprise is the amount of bipartisanship there actually is in Congress. I think people would be surprised, but members really do work together on a bipartisan basis a lot. A lot of them are friends. As a matter of fact, the member that I work for is a Republican from Montana. He is great friends with Joe Kennedy, who is a Democrat from Massachusetts, who I actually had the opportunity to meet personally. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, very good, very good. Would you recommend, and if, well, let me go back. What's your major in school?
Yeah, so in school, I'm majoring in telecommunication and political science.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yep.
Your internship certainly makes sense.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's a perfect experience and a perfect learning sort of environment for that kind of major, and especially if you're doing politics, there's really no better place to come for that.
Right. All right. Well, listen, I'm so glad you took the time to see us, and it was really a nice touch doing this from the Capitol. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cool. It's a lot of people don't get the opportunity to come and visit, so it's obviously my pleasure to bring you it live from the Capitol. So.
Yeah. And so can't wait to see you back in Massachusetts sometime. Maybe you'll be home for Thanksgiving.
Actually, I won't be home for Thanksgiving, but I will be home for Christmas. So I'll be home for about a month around Christmas time. So certainly excited to have a break and then go back to school and graduate.
Great. Well, good luck with the rest of your internship, and thanks again for being with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jack.
All right. That was Anthony Zona from the Capitol. That's kind of exciting. And now it's time to send it over to Jerry Slater for another edition of Your Town at Work. This month, we catch up with the Town of Norwood's Contracts Administrator, Kathy Carney, a MCPPO certificate holder. Take it away, Jerry.
Hello again, everybody. It's Jerry Slater for Your Town at Work, and we have a very special show today. We are highlighting some of the most powerful ladies of Town Hall, and truly the women who run the town. So we're not going to say anything to our town manager or anybody else. It's going to be our little secret. But I am here with Kathy Carney, who is the contract administrator for the town of Norwood. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So people see you. In fact, we were talking about, I saw you on a PBCC meeting last night. Why don't we talk about, you've been here 35 years,
yes.
Correct? How did you come into the role? What got you into this?
It was really kind of a funny story. I was 22 years old, and I was going to take the summer off from work. I was still living with my parents, and they said, sure, you want to do that? And the job came up in the general manager's office for a clerk, and I was told, go ahead, put it in, and I put it in. I got the job, and I never did get that summer off. So 35 years later, and I'm still waiting to have a summer off.
We'll have to work at that.
Yeah, but then from there, 9 years later, the purchasing agent at the time, he retired, and then I took over in the job.
Okay, so kind of, and I know you know where all the bodies are buried here in Town Hall, what everybody does, and you really, really, it's an interesting role, and we'll get a little bit more into it. But as contract administrator, main part of your role?
My main part is really overseeing the contracts, putting the bids out, and a lot of people don't know that in public purchasing there are about 7 or 8 procurement laws that we really have to follow. So you really have to be a law kind of person, legal person. And so I put the bids out, make sure that they meet the requirements, and then do contract administration. So I make sure that the contract is doing what he's supposed to do, the job gets done at the price that it's supposed to get done.
So pretty much everything has to go out to bid, or is it?
No, there are thresholds, and it depends on what you're buying. So if you're buying a supply or service, that's under Chapter 30B, so the limit there is $10,000 for written quotes. But usually the departments come through me, and we figure out what do you want, have a scope of work, and then get the quotes in. And then anything $50,000 or more for supplies or service has to go up for skilled bids. Construction is a different law, and construction usually starts at $50,000 and then goes up to $150,000, and then different laws after that. So really, you end up having to have a good legal knowledge in order to do the public construction and public bid laws.
How do you keep up on that? Because they're changing, right?
They change all the time, and what they like to call, the last change was called Municipal Modernization Act. And what it did is just put more responsibilities on the purchasing agent. And the legislature writes these laws, and most of them don't know anything about public procurement. But they say it would be great if instead of advertising in one place or your bid page, you advertise in 4 or 5 different places. And there's different dollar amounts and different limits. You have to do it 2 weeks before a bid opening. So there are a lot of laws that really kick in. And so what I do is I'm certified as a public purchasing official with the state. And you have to take classes, and you have to take tests at the end of each class. And with purchasing agents or public purchasing officials, you have to do it through the state, where most other organizations, they do it through their association.
Right.
Public purchasing is actually through the state, through the Inspector General's office. So not only do you have to know it for your job, but you have to make sure that you pass all the tests. There are 3 separate tests, and then you also have to keep up with your continuing ed.
So, and you've got to obviously keep us out of trouble too, because
Yes.
that's, especially with some of the high profile stuff.
Yeah, it's really key. That's really what I see my job. And also, as we maybe add more staff or we're able to do more things, is to try to get the prices down on a lot of our items and do cooperative purchasing, which we do some now. But mostly it's to keep the town from having bid protests, which can stop a project. So in the 35 years I've been here, I think we've had 4 bid protests, and I've lost only 1.
That's great.
And when you lose it, what ends up happening is the Inspector General or the Attorney General's office tells you you didn't quite do it right. Either cancel the bid, go out again, or award to another bidder. So we usually don't end up. It's never been a case where we've had to pay any money in a lawsuit or anything like that. It's more on process. They want to make sure that it's a level playing field for everybody. So that's what my job is too, to make sure somebody hires the best responsive company to do the work for the town.
And I know from full disclosure, NCM recently went
Yes.
through this
Yes.
process for the senior center garage, which was quite interesting. So you have to, it's a step by step, and you can't miss.
It is. Yeah,
anything.
you have to make sure that you've done everything that the law says. And in the case of this, where we were leasing out some of our property, there's a whole different set of laws and requirements and how long things have to be advertised. So for me as the contract administrator, I have to know what you want to do, what law has to be used to do it, what threshold limits are, and then making sure that the money is there and that we're in budget. So there's many steps to it. People think, oh, well, that road construction project right there, we just hired a contractor. Well, no, there was a beginning phase with meeting with the department all the way through contract administration.
Right. And I know there's a lot of times there's a bid meeting in the beginning where you're educating people on just everything you have to do with the process
Yes.
too. So there's just a lot of facets to this. Now you have another aspect to your role also, which is really kind of bleeding it a little bit, shall we say? And because you're basically like the facilities manager for this
general
building.
government,
Yeah.
a lot of the departments, although we have a building manager at every building, they'll come to me when they have a project. And since I'm the contract administrator anyway, I get involved with it and finding what we need to do, getting a scope of work, hiring designers to help us out with the projects. And then, oh, my air conditioning isn't working. Okay, let's make sure that we get it up and working. So I'm doing that. I also work with budgets with the town manager, the assistant town manager, the finance director. So that's why I'm sitting up front at town meeting all the time to have any additional information that they might need. So I've got really 3 different aspects of my job.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing amount of information that you need to know, and I know that anybody who watches town meeting, any of us political geeks in town, know that there's always going to be the signal for Kathy Carney to come up to the room.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything?
I also oversee a project called the Gift of Warmth, which is donations made by residents and businesses in Norwood to help people who have difficulty paying their heating bill or their electric bill. So it's on a case-by-case basis, so I oversee that part of it as well. And sort of anything, any investigations, any analysis of budgets, people, when we get ready for town meeting, people who are looking for funds, to transfer internally, I try to look at their budgets and try to estimate how much other department's going to need, where can we find funds to help fund some of the projects.
Super.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kathy, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you for having me.
And again, we're here highlighting the women of Town Hall. So with that in mind, we'll be right back.
Thank you, Jerry and Kathy. And you know, I have personal knowledge of how great Kathy is. When I worked for the Inspector General's office, many times we used to use Kathy as part of our training to help train new people. So Norwood's very lucky to have her, and she's a real pro, believe me. Speaking of pros, I'm here with Brian Dunn right now, and we have kind of a milestone for Norwood Community Media. We took the sports on the road, so tell us about that.
Yeah, so first time ever we took the truck outside of Norwood. We went to Dedham High School last weekend, so it was a big event. The boys and girls soccer doubleheader. The boys were competing in what was called the Fernando Morales Cup. It was the first annual event in honor of Fernando Morales, and the girls played right after at Dedham High School, so we took the truck down. We have technology that we were able to do that with, and it was a huge success. We had Mark Hoover and Sean Hennessy do the commentary. Matt Stoller, Haley Hebert were on camera, and Mike O'Donnell as well. So overall, it was a huge success.
So this will show my ignorance of technology, but I remember when we first had the truck, we were sort of limited to places that had drops that we could. So how do you overcome that now?
So we use what's called the Comrex, and this is a device that, like you said, if we have a stable internet connection, we can broadcast from anywhere. We have this little, it looks like a block, and if we have an internet connection, that comes back into our head end in the studio, and we can broadcast from anywhere. So an example of that would be Dancing with the Norwood Stars. We use the solid internet connection to do that. We recently acquired technology where we can do this through cell phone towers. So they're little kind of cell phone blocks that sit up top of the block, and as long as you have a cell phone signal, you're able to broadcast live from anywhere. So what we did was we went to Dedham earlier in the week, and we made sure that we could do this. So we take a single camera at that point, just make sure we see the signal. But once we can confirm that, it's really all systems go, and everything kind of comes out of the truck in that regard.
That's pretty cool. So you're really only limited by, can you hear me now?
Right, right, and it's a cool thing because you know the truck it looks intimidating at first, but we were able to drive it right into the parking lot. This is a great time to thank the Dedham staff who was so helpful with getting that truck in there and reserving spots for us. So for those who have been to Dedham High School, there's a parking lot right outside the press box. It's like a strip. So we parked the truck right there. We were able to run our cameras and our cables right outside the press box, and it was almost like you would have never known that it was at Dedham High School, but the way their press box is set up, it's like Norwood's. So it was great that we were able to do a full production with the truck and everything, and it was live.
And like no one would even know the difference watching.
Right. It's like I said, like the press box is very similar to Norwood's, but in the same token, you know, we structured that live broadcast the same way we would do a football game here or a soccer game here. It was two cameras, three cameras with audio and commentary and graphics, and everything coming into the truck is run the same exact way. It's just it's located different, and the reason why we can do that is because we have this technology that allows us to kind of set up a home base wherever we want, and then we take that wire, a program wire, if you will, and we feed that out to wherever it needs to go.
So any plans for what's next?
Well, that's the thing is, you know, we've been kind of in the experimental stage, if you will. This was the first time we really kind of took this thing to the limit. So it opens up a lot of doors for what we're able to do sports-wise. We did, you know, we were able to do swimming at Westwood, soccer at Dedham. So you know, we can, in terms of my ideas, like we can experiment with going to Hyde Park and doing a hockey game. When the skating club gets built, we can see where we get there. There's a plethora of possibilities with this, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Very good, very good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Another feather in your cap.
Thank you.
And that's just awesome. And you know, this is a locally run organization, Norwood Community Media, and every day it just. So the motto of Boston College is ever to excel, and that's what I think about when I think of what happens here at NCM.
Right.
You know, it's excellent work, and you're never satisfied. It's always what's the next thing? What's the next step we can take?
And I think I think there's something to be said about, you know, when we launched this, it was for the Morales Cup game, and I think it was great to do that for the Morales family, for the program. It gives them, gives them a boost. It gives everybody who's involved a boost. And we could have went out there and done a single camera, and it would have been great. But the fact that we were able to do this and do this live for the people that may not have been able to go to the game, and the way we reach our audience more than just our channels. We're on our live stream. We do a lot of social media too. So the way we were able to reach people on a live standpoint outside of Norwood for the first time was really cool to be a part of it. A little nerve-wracking because obviously you want things to go well, and God forbid something doesn't go right. But like I said, everything was great. Huge thanks to staff and everybody involved in the production overall. But it was a great success, and those are kind of notes you take going into the next step, and we'll see what we can do from here.
And obviously, not just professionally, personally for you. You must have known Fernando because he was here when you were here.
Yeah, so Fernando was a grade above me.
Yeah.
So I knew Fernando. I knew a lot of his friends and the program in general. So it was nice to kind of make that connection again.
Yeah. Well, great job.
Thank you.
And what are we going to do now? We're going to go see, next weekend. This is exciting. The town of Norwood's going to host their first ever haunted house at the Morse House in South Norwood. There's been haunted houses before, but never at the Morse House. So it's kind of exciting, and I don't know who's going to tell us about it, but let's learn all about it.
Hi, everyone. Listen, we want you to join us on October 26th here at the Morse House, 1285. Michael Myers, get out of the frame, please. I got a job to do here. Hi, everyone. Please join us on October 26th. That's a Saturday from 4 to 8 p.m. here at the Morse House in Norwood at 1285 Washington Street with the Neponset Valley Sunrise. Hey! What did I tell you? Take away your chainsaw. It'll scare the children. Let's see. I'm sorry. October 26th, 4 to 8 p.m., the Morse House in Norwood. It's Dr. Sanity Claus's House of Fun for Halloween. It's a no-scare Halloween party. Let's see, for 11 years and under, all are welcome. There'll be a raffle for Bruins tickets, arts and crafts, and a lot of creepy, crawly things, ghosts, goblins, witches, adults. See what I gotta put up with? $5 per person. Please come down. $20 per family. 1285 Washington Street, Norwood. You're gonna have a wonderful time. Saturday, October 26th, 4 to 8 p.m. Okay? You're gonna come down. You're gonna come down.
So that was obviously Selectman Tom Maloney, and I don't know who that other character was, but it reminds me of when John O'Neill used to do his show. I think it was Local Gumbo, and there was a character very similar to that one on it. Maybe Jack Tolman remembers who that was, but we'll have to find out. Well, that wraps up another edition of Norwood Digest. We thank all of the guests that were here today. We thank the great crew here at NCM, but most of all, we thank you at home for allowing us into your living rooms. Good day. Keep safe, and happy Halloween.